Hi everybody, my name is Angela Cleary. I'm a life coach and I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse. So today I want to talk about being in the moment. Us humans think that we need to be busy all the time. We need to be doing something all the time in order to be productive. But what I find is that being in the moment, being in silence and sitting with where you are and where you're going to go next can be actually more productive than the act of doing itself. Now, we forget this. We have to be rushing around. We have to be busy. We have to be doing this and this and this. So in order to get to where we want to be. But this leads to burnout. This leads to lethargy. It leads to frustration and triggers. And I find this myself, and I keep trying to tell myself this. We are all on a path. We're all exactly where we're supposed to be. We're not late for anything. We're not delayed. We are exactly where we are supposed to be for our journey and for our path. So getting frustrated with yourself for not being where you wish you were now, instead of appreciating the moment, can actually delay things and make things take a lot longer. And the last few weeks, I started a couple of courses and I'm in overload. But instead of taking my time and instead of being patient with myself, I'm literally trying to get so much done at once that I'm forgetting to integrate what I'm learning and prepare myself for the next step. And this week especially, there's double workshops going on in my course and they're live, but they're in the evening time and in the middle of the night. And I was even so frustrated with myself thinking, I have to get it done yesterday. I have to get it done. And I was even kind of contemplating changing my sleep schedule and sleeping during the day and staying up in the nighttime just to do these workshops. And I'm like, no, replays are there for a reason. And I know from experience working night shifts is detrimental for your mental and physical health. So I would actually be worse off if I tried to stay up in the nighttime because my brain doesn't work and doesn't function if I'm tired. And this week especially, Monday night, I was so tired and triggered, and the workshop on Monday night went on until after 8:30, and I'd been on the laptop all day and I was just like, oh my god, I'm so tired. And towards the end of the workshop I was literally shouting at the screen going, come on Willie, just let me go, because I need time to wind down, I need time to breathe, I need time to rest before bed, because I can't go to bed when I'm wired because I won't sleep properly. And that's another thing we forget. We're going through ascension. In the nighttime we go through ascension dreams and we're in the astral realm in the night working on our spiritual awakening in our sleep. So we're not getting as much rest in the nighttime as we should be. So we do need to be mindful of that and actually integrate more rest into our daytimes. And that's the thing, I was so triggered on Monday night, shouting at the screen, going, come on, I want to rest. And then I was so tired Tuesday, I couldn't actually do any coursework. And then yesterday, went back into my old routines. I've been trying to stay off Facebook during the day, and literally I had my workshop on and I was flicking on the phone, and this is I know this is my codependency mechanism, and I was just like, Jesus, just stop for a minute. So I finished up early yesterday and I did a meditation, and then yesterday I actually just sat with myself and I started to have a conversation with myself. All for the last 2 weeks I've been saying I have to trust the process, I have to trust myself, there's no rush, be patient with yourself, everything is happening as it's supposed to. But because I still wanted to get everything done and feeling that if I didn't get it done in a certain period of time, that I was going to be late or delayed, that I actually just went into overdrive again, and I went into overwhelm, and I really just burnt out the last 3 days. And last night I was even shouting at myself to just cop on, you're not doing anything wrong. I'm so much further along than I was even a month ago, and a year ago. And I think yesterday when I sat down and talked to myself, I was kind of worried that if I stopped, I would revert back to my old ways, my lazier ways, or when I was doing my healing before, I used to take more time off because I was going through a lot of emotional turmoil in my family and everything. Do you know what I mean? So I did need extra time to heal. So I think yesterday and the last few days and the last few weeks, I've been kind of afraid I'll revert back to my old ways. I'll go back going on Facebook every morning for 3 hours before I even start. I had just had this fear that I would reverse rather than go forward if I stopped. And I think that's what we're afraid of. I think we're afraid if we stop, we're just going to stop, or we're going to end up going back to our old habits. And that's the thing, instead of actually sitting with how far we've actually come, like if you actually measure how far you have come, even in the last few weeks, the last couple of months, the last year, you know, there is no going backwards. Like it's slow, it might be a slow progression, but it is still ascending. We're ascending upwards. All our new habits aren't going to revert back to our old habits, because we can't go back to that. We really just can't. I know I can't, you know, and the new habits I've integrated, like, you know, it's because January was so slow and February is so fast. We forget that, like, you know, I started some new habits and some new energies and new states at the start of February. That's only 4 weeks ago. Do you know, and they're kind of wondering why I'm not further along, or, do you know, I'm frustrated with myself. It's like, oh, you should be this way or you should be that way. And I'm like, 4 weeks, in 4 weeks, I have transformed so much. I'm not on social media half as much, only for work. And I'm getting up earlier in the mornings. I'm doing exercise and meditation every day. Do you know, so in 4 weeks, I've come so far. And instead of sitting there and going, well done, Angela, I'm kind of going, why aren't you over here? And this is what's wrong with us. We keep thinking that we have to be busy all the time. We have to be productive all the time, just to be productive. And that is not true. Being in the moment is so, so productive. Like last night, I had so many breakthroughs. I know I had to end up shouting at myself. And that's the thing, I do talk to myself, and it's the best. Like, people do automatic writing. You know, you'll ask a question to the universe and then you'll just automatically write. I automatically talk to myself. I will ask myself a question and I will come back with the answers I need. But I don't, like, because the last 3 days, and I was still, because I think so, because the workshops are getting more intense this week. But that's what replays are for. Do you know? And I think the fear of the workshops coming up, I was a fear that I was going to be late. But the whole point is that I can do this in my own time. Replays are there for a reason. And I have to ease into this thing. And, like, you know, if you do something like a course, you have to learn and integrate what you take on that day, and then move on to the next step. You know, you have to process it. And that's what I was trying to say to myself last night. It was like, Angela, you need to process what you're learning, be proud of how far you've come, and then plan your next steps. Because I'm not going to be productive learning the next part of my course if I'm frustrated, if I'm tired, if I'm angry. Do you know what I mean? And last night when I sat with myself, and it was like a massive breakthrough. It was like a wake-up call. It was like, this is what you need to do. And you need to just be in the moment for a few minutes, for an hour, for however long you need. Because I got more, I suppose, done last night by talking to myself than I did the last 3 days, because I was tired, I was angry, I was triggered. Do you know, and like, you know, and that added to my frustration. It's like, you know, you're not getting anything done. And it's like, and instead of, like, I was telling myself, instead of resting, I have to do more. But I was shattered. I was absolutely shattered, because I wasn't listening to my own advice, and I was trying to bull through once again. And I was getting so frustrated with myself. I was like, you have to do this, you have to do this. Like, there was only 2 workshops, and like, I was like, I need to have them done yesterday. But, like, you know, the rest of them aren't even, you know, they weren't even ready yet. Like, do you know what I mean? And I'm just like, what are you doing? I can't learn anything if I'm so angry and frustrated and tired with myself. Like, sit with it. Sit in the moment. Enjoy this present moment, because that's all you have. And that's the thing. Like, I lose motivation. I lose energy. I lose that ambition when I'm tired. I lose that ambition when I'm angry. And then I get frustrated, and I'm afraid I revert back to my old ways. But if I stop for a minute, I'm not going to go backwards. I'm actually going to go forwards quicker, because I'm actually sitting there going, hello, this is what you need to do next. You need to gradually go into this process. Trust the process. Like, that's the thing. We need to trust ourselves in the process. And, like, I keep forgetting I'm not doing this on my own. I have a massive angel team of support. This is my life purpose. So therefore it's not going to fail. And that's the thing with our life purpose. It can't fail. We have a massive angel team as support. We have spirit guides, we have passed on loved ones, we have ancestors that are there pushing and pulling us along. You know what I mean? So we're actually not doing this on our own. So, like, you know, if you pause for a minute, it's not going to mean that your life purpose isn't going to happen. It just means that it's probably going to happen quicker, because you're not rushing it. When you run bullheaded after something, it fucking runs away from you. It really does, like. And like what I noticed and the way I described it yesterday is like I keep hitting this brick wall, but I keep trying to go through the brick wall head first with no fucking helmet. But when you sit back and actually pause for a minute, you will find a way to either build a ladder to get over that wall or find a way around it or make a door through it. Like, whereas if you try and go through it, you're only going to hurt yourself and you're just going to end up nowhere. So pause for a minute, plan your next steps, process what you've learned, integrate that into your next steps. And that's where the breakthroughs lie. That's where the magic lies, is in those moments that you are deep in thought or in silence. And like, you know what, this bugs me because every time I get a breakthrough in silence, I'm like, Jesus, I know this. Like, I do this all the time. And then I go through this same process where I go bullheaded again, and then I stop and I relax, and then I get a breakthrough, and I'm like, yes, we just need to relax and be in the moment. We need to trust that. And silence is the best place, and having that conversation with yourself. Have the conversations out loud with yourself and find out what's going on in your mind and your head. Find out what you're feeling. And that's the thing, like, you know, instead of like, and that's, I was so frustrated over the last 3 days, kind of just going, I want to be over here, instead of sitting there and asking myself, what's wrong? And that's the thing. I was triggered Monday night. I was shattered Tuesday. And yesterday I was actually quite emotional. And I was doing the course, and every time anything come up for me, a trigger, like, I'd start crying. And I'm like, why are you crying? You know, what I mean by that is it's okay to cry. But I was like, sit with why you're crying instead of fucking, there's obviously something wrong. You know, you can't rush all this. You're frustrated, you're angry, and you're upset. Sit with that. Find out what is going on. Your triggers are your guides. Your triggers are your biggest teachers. You need to actually sit with them and find out what's wrong. And like yesterday, like the last 3 mornings as well, I've been getting up and I've been so tired and so grumpy. And that's when I forget as well. When I'm dreaming, every night I will have the most vivid dreams. And a lot of it's to do with my past. And it's like watching a movie every night. But I know these are all messages for me to release parts of my past and to process them and, you know, move on into the future. This is a part of ascension. And we're all like we're in the astral realm every night. So we need to give ourselves extra rest. Like, after sitting with things last night and after actually integrating everything, I woke up this morning happy again. Do you know what I mean? Like, and the last 3 mornings, it was just like, such a struggle to get up. I still did my routine, and that's the thing, the routine is a part of me now, which is great. Like, and I should be proud of that. Like, 1 month ago, I was lying in bed, having breakfast in bed as a self-care mechanism, and on Facebook before I had the energy to get up, because we need to change our energy in the morning. And that's what I've been doing for the last month. And I've been getting up, I've been having breakfast at the breakfast bar, I've been doing a little bit of exercise, I've been doing my meditation, having my shower, and listen to a bit of music, and then I'm getting into my courses and I'm in a better form. The last 3 mornings, I've been so tired, and I've been doing all that and still going, oh my God, I'm so tired. And it's only after my shower that I feel a little bit better. But this morning I woke up and I was like, even though I had really fucked up dreams again last night, I felt better this morning because I sat with myself last night and I asked myself, what the fuck is going on? You know, so stop. Like, this is the thing with humans. We do not have to be doing all the time. Being is doing. Being in the moment and asking yourself what is going on. Even if before you get frustrated, before you let those triggers come in, pause between every step. I'm like, I'm literally giving myself advice as I'm giving you advice, because I keep forgetting this as well. I keep saying to myself, you know, enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. That's the whole point. You have to enjoy the journey. It's not all about the end goal. If you don't enjoy yourself on the way to what you want, then what's the fucking point? And that's the thing, like the last month, because I changed my energy, I have been getting up in happier form. I'm enjoying my course, I'm having good days. But as I said, the last 3 days, I've been angry, tired, and frustrated because I haven't been resting. And like, you know, if I'm online all day, and then I try and do a live workshop in the nighttime, I'm not going to be present for that workshop. And I'm better doing replays anyway, because I can take more notes and I can pause in between each section, and I can talk to myself about that section and then go on to the next section. And that's actually better for my learning. So I learn better when I'm on replays. Like, the lives are more fun. because they're more integrative and you've got the community there. They are more fun. But I learn better when I'm awake. I learn better when I'm not tired. I learn better when I'm not triggered and frustrated. I learn better when I'm taking notes. So me doing these workshops for the next 2 weeks, I'll be better doing them on the replays. But I was so angry with myself before they even happened, saying I should change my whole sleep routine so I turn up live. No. That's the human ego mind telling you have to be so productive, you have to be busy, you have to work till you collapse. And then you get frustrated with yourself and you still stay going, and your body then reacts. You start getting sick, you start getting tired, and then you're no good to anyone. So that's, Jesus, like, I'm giving out to myself here, like, this human mentality is bullshit. We have to process our progress, but be kind to ourselves as well, but be proud of how far we've come. Like, I wrote down yesterday, because I was so frustrated and upset, I actually wrote down my progress from last May to now, and I wrote down my different steps. So from May to July, from July to September, from September to November, from November to January, and from January to now. And like, that's only a few months in between each, and altogether that's only 9 months ago. But each, like, I've up-leveled every few months. So every 2 months I've up-leveled more, and like 1 month or 2 months, it's not a long period of time. So instead of being frustrated with myself thinking I haven't got much done, like, I had so much healing to do last year after shit with family. So technically what I actually got done last year was way more than I actually considered. Like I had so much healing to do, but I still got so much productivity done as well. And I should be sitting there proud of that and going, Jesus, I've come so far in 9 months, rather than actually saying to myself, I should be further. Because no, I'm exactly where I need to be. We all are exactly where we need to be. This is our journey, our path, our purpose calls us. And as I said, we have to enjoy the process. We have to enjoy the moment to be able to enjoy the outcome. And if we don't enjoy what we're doing now, how are we going to enjoy our goals? Because that's what we say to ourselves. We say, I'll be happy when I get there. But you have to be happy now, because tomorrow isn't promised. You know what I mean? This is all we have. The moment is all we have. And if we're sitting there angry and frustrated all the time, how are we going to enjoy this? Or how are we going to enjoy what we're trying to achieve? Be proud of those baby steps. Be proud of those little bits of achievement, and keep measuring. Look back. And that's the thing I started to do. This is February 24. How did I feel last February? And I was not in a good place last February. I really, really wasn't. So, if I want to measure a full year back, I have come a very, very long way in a year. Like, I had issues. I had rashes on my face due to stress. I was very tired all the time. I was very depressed. I was very fearful. So in 1 year, I have actually come an absolutely massive amount of transformation. And a massive amount of growth in 1 year. And then if I break it down into 9 months ago, I was better, but I wasn't cured. And between March and now, I have grown so much. But I have done so much healing as well as progressed in my career. Now that deserves a medal, rather than sitting here being frustrated with myself for not being over here. Do you know? So we need to give ourselves that little bit of recognition and that little bit of reward for those baby steps. And when you actually look back and measure those baby steps, they're actually giant leaps. They really are. And that's what I was trying to figure out. And that's why I wrote it down yesterday. And I took a picture of it afterwards and I wrote it down. Do you know, the little steps that I made and how much progress I can make in each month. And then I looked back, I checked the date of when I started my new morning routine. And that's only 4 weeks ago. And I only started my new diet a week ago. And and I was even frustrated with that, wondering why it wasn't working yet. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, it was only a week ago. And it was only 4 weeks ago that I started the other routine. So, give yourself the credit for that is like how far you've come in even 4 weeks. Like 4 weeks ago, I started that morning routine and it was so hard. It was so fucking hard. But now it's like breathing. It's like I just do it naturally. I could do it in my sleep now because it's become a part of my life in just 4 weeks. And that's how quick a habit can form. We are afraid that we can't change our habits and we're afraid that we can't change the way we live. But literally 4 weeks ago, I started this new morning routine and it was hard, it was frustrating. And now it's like breathing. It really is. It's just so easy. And I feel so much more energy after it. So, you know, we can change our lives so quickly, but we need to give credit for ourselves for doing that. Like, you know, for sticking at it. Like, I remember the first week trying to change my routine. And I was like, oh my God, if I get through 7 days, right, we'll be able to get through more. And even after the 7 days, you're like, oh my God, it's so hard. But now I feel so much, I actually feel younger because I feel more lifelike. I feel more, I've got more vitality. And I'm not on Facebook half as much. And like, I go on Facebook for work and I will try and stay off it till the nighttime. Because that's kind of a codependency thing that I was working on as well. So I'm trying to stay off social media as well. And that's a big part of my life that I've transformed. So these little steps that we make, we need to give ourselves credit for them. Be proud of those little steps. But pause. Pause before we rush ahead. Don't go bullheaded for that wall with no helmet. Stand back and ask yourself, what's an easier way to get through that wall, get over that wall, or get around that wall? Because there is easier ways. We just need to sit with it for a minute and think about it. And that's all we need to do. So just be. Enjoy being. Be in the moment. Pause for a few minutes. And if you can get out in nature to pause, that's even better. Because like when I sit out in the sunshine, like that's when all the answers come quicker. So be in the moment. Instead of thinking you have to be doing all the time to be productive, rest, relax, integrate what you've already learned and plan for your next step. Because when you plan your next step, it will be easier and also it will come quicker. You can't achieve stuff if you keep running after it bullheaded. It will run away from you. It will take longer if you go into stuff with all this kind of need to be productive. Excuse me. We can be productive by being in the moment and resting and recuperating for the next step. Be strong for the next step. Be stronger for the next step. Be more prepared for the next step. Because if you don't pause in between your steps, you're not going to achieve much at all. The last 3 days, I got fuck all done because I didn't rest. And if I had have taken the proper rest in the evening times, especially Monday night, I wouldn't have been half as tired on Tuesday and I wouldn't have been half as frustrated yesterday. I would have gotten a lot more done if I had just paused for a minute. And when I did pause last night, I'm already in better form. I'm already raring to go for today. And I'm just going to be patient with myself. So relax. You don't have to be doing all the time to be productive. Being is doing. So thank you for listening today, and I hope this resonates. And if it does, please like and share. And if you would like help in your journey, please give me a ring for a discovery call today. And I would love nothing more than to help you on your path. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.